Damn it, Squid. Wonder if someone already stole show enough. I'm sure someone had to have from the Last Dragon.
Huh. So let me check strat. It says stream is offline.
Yeah, I'm in chat. It says no longer hosting. You were hosting Night Attack.
Okay, well that's there. bit.ly/rmplibe.
Do you still when I tap on the table?
Yep.
Damn it, I gotta remember that so I can't type.
Okay, well we're live, so there's
Woohoo!
that.
About time we were live again. Let's see who actually shows up naturally if they actually get any of those
Little
warnings.
little alerts.
Yeah. Hey, guess who went live?
Right. I probably don't get alert. I think my phone is revolting against me though. Ever since I like Thursday night when I ordered the new one, this one has just
Yeah.
been crap. The battery died Friday. Hasn't died forever. Like my battery has always been really solid on this phone, and it died Friday, like in the morning, and I charged it at that night.
Mine always seems to do that 1 month before it's re-up time or update time.
Hmm.
And I bought mine on what was it, Black Friday 2 years ago. So now we have to sit until Black Friday this year to be able to upgrade. So I'm like, I hate shopping on Black Friday. But we couldn't beat it. I mean, it was like nine. It's like what was it? The lease fee was like $9.99 a month for as many phones as you wanted.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh hell yeah, yeah, I'll get the S6 for $9 a month. I have no problem with that.
It's like
And then I
paying.
realized,
It's like paying $250 for a phone. It's not bad.
yeah, no, it's not. The only thing is, it's like I've kind of come to the conclusion that I will lease a phone because you are going to replace those faster than shit. But I'm not going to replace. I'm not going to lease a car
Oh.
because that's just insanity. I can't tell you how many times I've come across like people that are leasing. Like I need to get. I suddenly have all these repairs I have to do right now. Why? Because my lease is up in a month. Dude, it's going to take you 3 months to do all that work, and it's going to cost you almost as much as they're going to fine you for.
Yeah. We my ex-wife and I leased a car one time, and I'll never do that shit again.
Oh,
Well, especially being in the military, we got an assignment overseas. We couldn't take the car with us because the lease wouldn't let us.
mhm.
And we were going to Japan. Japan wouldn't let us take it. The lease wouldn't let us take it. So we're like, okay, well, fine. We'll just turn it back in. They're like, oh, well, now there's this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And it came down to the threat of legal action on both sides before somebody somewhere finally said, you know what, we'll just take the car, evaluate it, and if it's still in great condition, then blah 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 blah. And of course, I kept my car in perfect condition, so they took it back, and we didn't have any balloon payment or anything else. I think we had to pay like one extra payment.
Yeah.
It was like $350 or whatever the payment was, and then they took it back, and we moved on with life. So not too bad.
And the sad part is they're going to still get their money because they're still going to sell it as used, and they will reclaim every cent that they lost on you ending your lease early.
Yeah, because I think it was a 3-year lease, and we had the car for a little under 2 years. So we probably already ate most of
Oh
the
yeah.
difference, but whatever.
At that point, I mean, any reported interest you would have had while purchasing it is already gone. Now you're paying off the vehicle itself. Yeah.
Oh. So what are we doing today, dude?
dude, I think
We're doing some
I think
random podcasting.
yeah, just shooting the shit as always, like we always do. Every time we get together, we just shoot random shit,
Mm.
find out something to talk about, and it usually ends up taking 5 hours, and I go to bed way too late. Um, Especially now that I got this new job in Thousand Oaks, which is about an hour and a half each way a day.
That's insane, dude. I
So
still don't
I got to
understand.
drive. I'm driving 3 hours every day just to get to and from work.
No, I say that's insane, but my minimum drive to work, if I try really, really hard and there's no traffic, is about 42 minutes.
Right.
So I'm already doing half of that myself. And then I remember when I was growing up in California, um, my mom we lived in Palmdale, and she worked in Valencia,
Hmm.
and that's with traffic, that's an hour and a half drive there too. So
Pretty much.
it seems insane, but it's really, especially for California, it's not too bad.
But how much of that is like in traffic driving?
Hmm.
How much is that is just on the gas, going, enjoying your drive, and how much of it is sitting there watching someone try to weasel away in front of you and almost clip your bumper?
So again, my drive is 42 minutes. Anything over that is waiting for traffic. You know,
Yeah.
some days it's 2 hours to get into work. Some days it's 42 minutes, and those are the good days. That means I got up way too early. That's what that means.
So you actually have to give yourself like a 2 hour buffer zone.
So, kind of like when I get off work, I get off work typically at 4 o'clock, and then like RMP starts at 6. So that's 2 hours. That's kind of, if it's going to take me more than 2 hours to get home, then it's not going to be worth watching anyway, or not going to be worth streaming anyway, because I'm going to be so irritated with life. I'm not going to want to jump on. So, God, my throat is just jacked up today.
Why is your throat backed up?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it wasn't around smokers or anything else last night. It's kind of crazy. But we did host a Halloween party, and that was awesome. Everybody that came in costume, except for my sister-in-law's friends. And well, one of them did, one of them didn't. And had a good time. We had far too
They
many
came in.
shots.
They didn't come in with costumes, or they didn't come at all.
One came in like his she-devil costume. The other one didn't come in a costume at all.
Okay. Yeah, I'm that guy. I'm that guy. Just like, yeah, no, I'm not even going to bother trying. Let you guys have all that fun. I'm
Mm.
just going to sit here and enjoy and do my thing.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. I mean, we decorated the hell out of the house. We put spider webs all over the front door, made them go through the garage, and then you come into the garage and it had the heater on at like 80 degrees or 90 degrees. I think it was 90 degrees, whatever the highest temperature would go for the heater in the garage. So you walk in, there's a fan that's blowing this hot air straight into your face when you walk in. And you walk in, it's got all red lights everywhere, and like a black light is hidden and it's shining on the wall, and the wall says, you know, in glow in the dark paint, it's like, get out. And it's got like little eyeballs and shit all over it. There's an outlined body on the ground. And then they come in, and as soon as they come in the door, they open up the door. There's one of those little things. This voice, actually, right on the stairs. As you're walking up the stairs, the act of walking up the stairs activates one of those little jump scared thing. You know. Then you open the door, and when you
Ah,
open the doors, this little thing comes out. It's like, "We've been waiting for you." You know. So it was fun. It was, you know, get you in the mood when you come in the house. And of course, we had the house all spider webbed up everywhere, and skeletons and skulls. We had these little kid sized skeletons at the top of the stairs, like hanging out and like looking over the side.
and your
Um,
your house is creepy as it is to begin with.
it's not uncreepy. And then of course we had the kids area was all downstairs where the TV was, right? We had the kids punch and all that kind of stuff. And you go to come downstairs, and there's ghouls hanging from the sconces where the lights are. Of course, the lights are all swapped out with those like little flickering orange lights. And you look
Yeah.
down at the bottom, and the smoke machine's got the whole entranceway all smoky and everything else. And there's a big glow in the dark spider web down there it's got a black light shining on it, and there's a skull on the shelf that's like got the mist coming out of the multicolored mist coming out of the eyes. And yeah, you don't want to go down there, is basically what happens.
So you put all the kids at the scariest place you can.
Oh yeah. Yeah, most of the kids had to be escorted down by their parents, and once they got down there, they wouldn't come back up. I mean, it was perfect. It was great.
Oh, dude, that is classic. That is classic. Okay, so what movie did you put on for? Because there's always that TV that you play movies for the kids, keep them entertained.
It started out as Scooby Doo, and I believe after a few episodes of Scooby Doo, it went to Insidious.
How do you go from Scooby Doo to Insidious?
Because I wasn't in charge of the TV, my teenage daughters were, and they were like, "Enough of the Scooby Doo bullshit. We're going good." So they just started watching Insidious, and that's when a lot of the kids came upstairs. Uh,
Oh,
so
I love your daughters now. I'm so proud of them now.
yeah, it was great. It was just overall a good party. I mean, we had people that showed up like right as it started. So I'm still downstairs, haven't changed into costume or anything else. Still trying to get like the last bit of the food ready and everything else. And they show up, and the food was a hit. We made this chicken. We marinated it for just over 24 hours, I think. And the marinade, we were given the recipe for the marinade, and as I was going down mixing this stuff in, I'm like, man, this is not going to be good. I don't want to eat this. There's like a lot of vinegar. There's a lot of different spices and stuff like that. I'm like, this is not going to turn out well. That chicken was good as shit, dude. Like, oh, it was delicious.
Now I'm jealous.
It was stupid
That
good.
I could buy a house just so I could throw a party like Tony.
Yeah, it was.
I've never been successful at that in my life. How do you get everybody to show up on time? I gotta ask that because I mean,
How do we get him to show up on
Cali,
time?
Cali, everybody shows up about an hour and a half, 2 hours late, and those are the people that are thinking they're showing up on time. Then you got the people that show up the fashionably late, which is
Well,
between 2 and 3 hours, and
so
then
first of all, the party was supposed to start at 6. It was a neighborhood party, so no one outside of our neighborhood was even invited. Well, I mean, there might have been a couple, but most of them. Oh, hey, Max Trobach, thanks for stopping by. Most of the people that weren't from like right in our neighborhood that showed up were people that like my sister-in-law worked with and things like that. So you already knew what time it was. Second, we are notorious for being late. Me in particular, but everyone that accompanies me is notorious for being late. So they wanted to arrive early to show us up. Third of all, we had a hard deadline of midnight because when Rick put the little thing in Facebook, the end time was 11:55 p.m. And the question was asked, well, what happens at 11:56? I said 11:56. 11:55 is your 5-minute warning. At midnight, I go full skyclad and bounce around like a true pagan. And so they knew they had to get there early and party because at midnight, pants off, dance off. Well, that and a lot of people, for whatever reason, in this particular party, a lot of people had to work today. So they showed up early so they could actually enjoy themselves a little bit before they had to get up at like 6 o'clock in the morning to get ready for work. So
that ain't like how we used to do naked time out here.
hmm?
Oh, that's right. You moved when we started doing that. That's right. No, at the bonfire parties when we used to throw all the bonfire parties up over at the ovals. Um, about 11, 12 o'clock at night, someone would shout naked time. Everybody had ended up getting naked. We'd end up throwing somebody's clothes into the fire just so we can like say, haha, you're stuck.
Wow. No, because I would end up being that dude that had the pants thrown in the fire, man.
Hell yeah, and I would have been the one throwing them too.
I'm that asshole that's like, oh, it's naked time. Y'all asked for it. I don't want to look at it either, but y'all asked for it. That's
I
just
could
how it
actually.
goes.
So,
So
I'm sorry. The thought of you in naked time just flew through my head. Oh man.
I know you were embarrassed for everybody else, right?
Yeah.
That's what happens. I mean, it was a success. It was the first time my wife and I have hosted a party as a married couple. So
Cool.
It was pretty nice.
So do you think you're gonna do it again, or is it something where like, yeah, that was fun. Maybe we'll do it on Halloween. That will be our party for everybody. Or
That's the plan. I think the plan is that we are just going to own Halloween because we already have all the decorations. So we already got a plan. Next year, I'm going to include a story to make it kind of more of an interactive thing. A couple of days ahead of time, start getting the invitees more into the mood, and maybe have like a murder mystery party on a Halloween murder mystery party, something like that.
don't do that. Don't be that house. Don't go that route, man. You're
Just
better than that.
just because you can't be here doesn't mean that I can't entertain my guests and make fun of them the way that I want to.
Asking non-role players to role play.
mm.
You're asking people to go, okay, we've never played D&D before, but hey, let's pretend we're doing D&D.
Oh no. When I say murder mystery, I mean like uh, I guess it'd be closer to an escape room.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
there'd be clues around the house for people to find and clues to put together, and then at the end of the night, before everybody left, they would drop who they thought committed the murder or committed the crime or whatever else. Drop that into a hat, and then the next day we'd find out who actually won. So
you opened up the secret casket and were poisoned by the needle you didn't even feel. You must drink this shot of God knows what
oh
to
no.
save
So
yourself.
I did go to one party. It was a housewarming party for a couple that was recently engaged. They just moved in together and they got engaged. And what was it? They called it a box party or something like that. Anyway, they took all their moving boxes and made tunnels through the hallways into each room,
Mm-hmm.
and then put sheets over the doorways. So the only way to get from one room to another room was to crawl through these tunnels. And they made they had rules for the tunnels, like there was no stopping in the tunnel. You weren't allowed to stop and talk. Like you had to just keep going. There's nothing in the tunnel that told you where, like, what room you were coming out in. So if you had to go to the bathroom, you might want to get lucky. So I just kept peeing in the backyard. The kitchen was really easy to find because it was the only one with the light in it. All the others, like the room turned, like the when you exited the tunnel, it was dark where you exited the tunnel. So but they had like one room was like the makeout room, another room was just music. They had the living room was all set up for people to hang out, and I think they were playing video games or something like that, or playing cards, whatever. And then they had the kitchen. In every room, excuse me, every room had a rule.
Mm-hmm.
So in one room, if you met someone in there, you had to introduce yourself in a certain way, and they had a little script, and it was kind of a funny script. You had to put in your little details and stuff. Another room was the kissing room. Like if you were in there at the same time as a person of the opposite gender, you had to kiss them before you could leave the room. And
I can
do what?
see that either going fantastically well or horribly bad.
A mixture of both. And anytime you popped out in the kitchen, you had to take a drink, and it was this huge. I say huge. It's probably like 30-gallon cooler or whatever. They had just jungle juice in it, and they had Everclear marinating in watermelons for several days, and a jar of Everclear with like all these squashed berries and stuff, and they were just dumping that in there, and along with whatever. Like if you brought a bottle, you could just dump it in there or put it on the bar or whatever, and it wasn't good.
Here's one to drink. Here's one to yeah. You're fucked.
Yeah,
Enjoy.
it was not good. But the party was great. Yeah, it's when I learned how to do cake stands. I found out I was actually pretty good at them. Yeah, that was probably one of the best parties I went to.
Why does you don't, at least I don't hear about parties like that anymore. You don't hear about themed parties. The closest I ever really got with a themed party is either bonfires or rent parties, because there's 10 of us living in a house and going, we got no rent. Let's throw a party and charge everybody.
No,
And it worked.
no. It's like the opposite of a move-in party. It's a move-out party. It's like, hey, y'all come over here and give us some money and take your shit. That way we don't have to move.
Which is what we did that too.
Oh wow.
Seriously, for about a year. For a year, we rented out this house in Palmdale, and we none of us had jobs. We were all doing like either extra work on movies, or I was a PA at the time, working on movies, and so we weren't getting paid shit. We were barely struggling to survive. So, in which case, we just constantly threw rent parties at least once a month, sometimes twice a month, because it was so successful. And people are stupid to think that, oh wait, didn't we already do this 2 weeks ago?
Wow, that's ridiculous.
And
And what, you just buy a keg, you like put in for a
yeah,
$40, $50 keg, and everybody comes over and puts in $5, and you walk out of there with like an extra $600.
yeah.
Well, there's rent, and plus we got all this beer left over.
And how do you think we survived the rest of the time? We ended up doing it for rent, for water, because the gas got turned off, so we had no cold water. So we just threw a party so we could pay that bill, paid a party to pay the electricity, threw a party to pay for this, and it just ended up just pay for our yada yada and have a good time.
I couldn't do that, dude. Like I get partied out. Like I'm already partied out for this season, and it just started
With one party.
with one party. And I'm like, okay, that's good. I'm
Now
good at least until New
your
Year's.
house is like your house is almost automated, right? I mean, almost fully automated.
No, not as much as I would wish. Like we don't have our lights set up or anything like that. We've got thermostat. I do have my RMP lights, my live lights around the house, and we got some Nest cameras, and that's really about it.
Oh, okay. So, because I was thinking, you were automating the hell out of your house. So, how are you going to try to incorporate the automation into your Halloween parties for next year?
Yeah. No. Unfortunately, the way the house is designed for us to really automate a lot of the things, what we need is we need smart switches that we can control with our phone and stuff like that, because the lights are already done.
Mhm.
And there's no point in having smart lights all over the house that somebody goes and flips a switch and now none of the lights work. So we just need to swap out the switches.
Oh, okay.
Um, but then all of the lights in the house are all at least double switched. Some of them are triple switched, and I don't even know how the hell that works. Like,
I'm too lazy, so I got my switch right over here, and then I got my switch right over here, and then a
well,
switch right in front of me.
yeah. Well,
Just because.
so for instance, the kitchen lights. There's a switch by the garage door that turns them on and off. There's a switch by the back door on the patio that turns them on and off. There's a switch in the hallway that turns them on and off, and then there's a switch in the living room that turns them on and off. There's 4 switches for those lights. Oh, okay. So get this. Get you ready for this? This. I'm going to tell you this. This. Man, this gets me. If you're downstairs and you turn all the light switches down, all of them completely down, and then you go upstairs. As you're going upstairs, the light switches that are right there at the bottom of the stairs, you put all those up because lights are off, and you're going upstairs to swipe them up. All the lights downstairs are off, completely off.
So the same switch operates 2 rooms.
No, they're just there's at the bottom of the stairs there's a three light switch panel. Just on the other side of that is a 3 light switch panel. Those two operate separate sets of lights downstairs.
Right.
On the same wall, further into the room, there's another 3 switch panel, which actually operates the same lights as the ones at the bottom of the stairs. And then by the bar, there's another 3 switch panel that operates. 2 of those operate the same lights as some of the others, and one of them is the only switch that operates the lights of the bar itself, the 3 lights that hang down on the bar. By my office door, like right here on the other side of the wall that I'm looking at right now, is another switch, a double switch that handles 2 different sets of lights. And then by the back door going out to the yard, there's another double switch that handles different. So there's all these, like they're all intermingled. And if all these light switches downstairs are down, and as you're going upstairs, you swipe those 3 switches up, all the lights downstairs are off. It's kind of ridiculous.
How do you how do you how do you
Yeah.
You can't troubleshoot that. It's like, who turned the lights off? Oh God, which one is it?
Right. That's why I had to go around. That's why I was like, you know what? All these switches are down, and now we go upstairs and all the switches are up. And now everything's off. Okay, good. Got it. If you're in on the main floor of the house, turn all the light switches down. Every one of them, turn them all down. All the lights are off except one.
Mm.
Except one.
Which
And there's
one?
only one switch. So all the light switches upstairs, if you turn all those down, all the lights are out. Except this one. It's at the bottom of the stairs. It's where I usually get dressed in the morning. This one switch is
Okay.
reversed. It's just this one is reversed. If you turn down every light switch in this house down, except for those three at the bottom of the stairs, you flip those up. Every switch in this house is off except for this one switch. It drives me nuts. And it's the switch I use most often because it's the one that I turn the lights on so I can get ready for work and then turn it off and leave. So I use it every day. Well, every work day.
Yeah. I can't even.
Like it's maddening. It's really, really maddening.
At what point do you just have a fit and just go, I'm ripping out all the switches?
I mean, clearly I'm not there yet, but it's gonna happen eventually.
You're gonna just go downstairs one day and hit a switch, like, fuck it, I'm done, and just start ripping out switches left and right while you're right there.
Probably. um, it's really irritating. And I wish I was a better person because then I wouldn't be so bothered by it.
No, not true. Because
you're like, no,
I don't even live there, and I'm bothered. I'm just like anything more than like a light switch. I want it to where I just walk in a room and they do everything. I don't even want to know the lights are there anymore. I just do. I mean, I want Star Trek without being so cheesy.
No, I'm really, really rather simple. I just want all of them to be the same. I just want to be able to turn all the light switches down and they're all off. Isn't it? Why is that so hard? Really? But then again,
apparently.
Then again, who the hell else obsesses over light switches like I do? So I can understand it. It's kind of a.
So, are you just gonna like flip that one switch over, or can you flip that one switch over?
I actually haven't gotten into it because. So I understand the basics of electricity, but then there's thought that has to go into double switches.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a switch. It's a double switch because there's a switch upstairs that controls it as well. But
yeah.
Which pisses me off too because the switch upstairs, you can't even see the damn light from where the switch is. There's. You're at the top of the stairs. You're going to turn a light on under the stairs, like completely, like it's almost in a different room. You can barely catch the glow if the front doors are closed. They're like glass doors, or whatever. You can see the glint of that light against the front doors, but you can't actually benefit in any way, shape, or form from flipping that switch from where the switch is.
So there's a room underneath your stairs that has a door, like a Harry Potter room, that you have to go upstairs to hit the switch to go back downstairs to go in the room and see.
Well, because it's a double switch. Remember, there's one that's right there, right in front of it.
Oh, okay.
But the one upstairs, you flip that one, and you'll be up there for half an hour flipping it up and down, wondering what the hell light it goes to, because you can't see the light at all from the position of the switch. It's completely. It's like they were like, oh well, shit. We got an extra switch up here. Hey Bob, you want to go ahead and put the switch in here? Where's the light that only has one switch? Oh, that one's only okay. Let's just route that up here. That'll work. That'll make sense.
Get her done. Hey, wife, why don't you go into this room? Did it work yet? No. All right, go try this outlet. Did it work yet? No.
It's not unlike. Have you ever? I'm guessing you have, but Have you ever tried to find out which jack your cable goes to?
Oh, ooh, those used to piss
Like
me
you
off.
know your cable junction box in your house, and you're trying to figure out which room each one goes to because you
Yeah,
as far as digital cable, you don't want to split the signal any more times than you have to, because each time you split the signal, it degrades it just a little bit. And if you're trying to get a good 1080p signal, or if you're running off antenna, especially if you're running off antenna,
yeah.
you know, well, in my house is the same way because I have the same junction box has all the cable lines going to the rooms and all of the phone lines, which the phone lines are actually over Cat 5, which is how I have my house wired for the most part. Both of those, trying to figure out, okay, well, which one's which, and trying to go through. If you don't have the tester where you can just plug the stuff in, it is insane, irritating how long that process takes.
You know, you just sealed a deal. I am never buying a house. I just no. Hey, Fitz just showed up. He said, "Hey, fucko, let me help figure out why my stream is lagging right now."
Uh, why his stream is lagging right now?
Yep,
What's he watching? Is he watching us or is he watching himself? Because he's watching himself, that's the problem. He's probably using too much bandwidth.
watching himself, he's having too much fun with himself.
Hey, I'm not here to judge. I believe Fitz just joined up for our streamathon this year.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, and this year he promises it'll actually work. He's got his shit working because last year we sat there for our first 20 minutes trying to figure out how to get his stuff working, and I don't even know what the problem was. Like he had good bandwidth and he had everything set up as far as we could tell, and it just wasn't working. Like the stars just aligned to say "f you." So
That's the way every electronic moment goes. It's like, okay, I really need this to work right now,
yeah,
so badly that it's going to completely foobar. Even though we have it all set up perfectly, it's all going to go to shit right beforehand.
yeah, yeah. You're actually not lying. You're not kidding at all. Fitz, what are you going to be doing this year for the streamathon? You going to be playing games again? Or are you going to try to do some commentary comments or commentary comments like that made sense? Um. Anyway, I'm interested to see what he does. Last year he was trying to play games and it just didn't work. But then the Jen actually, I think the Jen took over the rest of his time slot. But she rocked it out of the house anyway, so it worked either way.
That's the Jen. That's what she does.
And I gotta say, man, meeting her at Nerdtacular was awesome. It's you meet these people online, and you have this community, and you're part of the community, and you hang out with people and stuff like that. But then you actually see them in person, like the actual personality comes through because they're right there in front of you. She's pretty awesome.
And then you get to see them when they're 3 sheets after drinking with you.
Yeah, but by then I'm already 3 sheets, so I'm just as much of a disappointment as they are.
You're not lying either, dude. I've
No.
seen you stoned.
Yeah, that's just how that goes. That actually came up last night. Was smoking dope came up last night, and I was like, I'm gonna retire. I once I retire, it'll be good to go. And everybody in the room was like, huh? Except one neighbor. One neighbor lives across the street. She was like, oh yeah, I know how that felt.
Yeah, it was great. I'm gonna go outside for a minute. Just tuck up into yourself. Oh, by the way, did you know that we just got a family of skunks that moved into the neighborhood?
Yeah, apparently.
That's what you're smelling.
Yeah. Well, see,
Dude.
here it's legal. It's completely legal. So, like they have little dispensaries and shit downtown.
Like the votes weren't done being counted when you can smell everybody just light up at that moment. The next day, I went to Hollywood, down actual Hollywood Boulevard, Hollywood, and immediately just like 80 people walking down the street just blazing, and you're like, whoa, I'm high just standing here.
Yeah. Special Sunday stream. This is something me and Sean are just gonna start doing once in a while. We were hoping for some good suggestions to practice our podcasting skills. We're just going to do like little 5-minute versions of whatever podcast showed up. So if you got some suggestions, by all means, throw a suggestion out there, and maybe we'll play with it and see what we can come up with.
We already not going to talk about the Bristol scale.
Bristol scale. Let's look that up. What is that?
Okay, fine. We are going to talk about. Okay, essentially, what the Bristol scale is how does your shit measure up, and what is wrong with you based upon the size, look, smell, and all that fun stuff about your shit.
Oh.
I actually inadvertently became an expert at this because of yanking out my colon. Because beforehand, we had to discuss exactly how I pooped. I'm like, I got to study my poop every day. Yes, you got to study your poop every day for like a month. I'm like, oh, this is going to suck. All right. And they say, okay, you definitely need the surgery. We're going in right away. We're taking out your colon and your rectum. Gone. Don't worry about it.
Rectum hell, damn near killed him.
From there, they said, there is a chance you're going to end up on an ileostomy bag. I'm like, okay, whatever that is. They're like, well, it's just, colostomy bag? I go, yeah, we made a joke about that once. And I'll tell you that joke someday. But they go, well, it's like that, except it's all liquid. I'm like, okay. So explain to me what's going to happen. And he's like, you are always going to have diarrhea for the rest of your life. But it's not going to be, but it's not going to be like diarrhea. Like you'll see on type 6, how it's kind of poopy, loggy, but not really. No, this is going to be explosive. And I'm just like, what the hell? And sure enough, like we actually had to sit there every day. Twitch luck. Yeah. So every month or so, I have to take a sample and go, I'm doing better. It's like going to school and say, hey, do I get an A this time? I did well in my school project.
This is horrible. Like I understand that it's something that has to happen, but I'm not trying to grade my poop every day.
Oh, but you don't tell me you don't get up, turn around and go, I wonder what that looked like.
Nope.
You are lying.
I don't usually I'm there for so long trying to get everything out that I end up courtesy flushing most of it away. So it's not even there for me to view anyway. It's no, I seriously don't. Twitch Luck is in the chat asking what we're talking about, and apparently we're talking about poop. It's what's for dinner. So we have a kid in the house right now with the type 6. I can tell you that. I can give you that right now. Fizz just says he only looks because he's hypochondriac, and yeah, that's not wrong. That seems legit.
I'm gonna admit I was just curious. I was like, okay, that took forever. That has to be like the monstrous of monstrous poos ever.
Ugh.
It's like a pebble, and it's like, dude, seriously, that like took half a year to come out.
No, I'm not a big fan of messing with poop.
Are you done talking about shit yet?
Fitzgerald had suggested we talk about the JFK stuff that came out.
Oh yeah, I'm slightly.
3,100 pages were slated to come out. 300 of them were blocked, so about 2,800 pages came out.
He said he wasn't going to block any of them. Damn bastard! I knew what he was blocking too.
So here's the thing, though. Of the 2,800 pages that came out that people have been talking about, all of the reports I've seen online, stuff like that, it's boring bullshit.
Yeah, it's the shit we already knew.
And it's okay. So who cares about this? This is stuff like, why didn't they just release this to begin with? They padded the result.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, okay, well, we'll release the 3,100 pages in 25 years. 25 years goes along, and they're okay. Well, here's 2,800 of the 3,100 pages. Oh, here's a bunch of boring shit that we could have released any time because nothing's really coming out of this at all.
Yeah, 90% is that. And dude, I haven't had a chance to take a look. Did they release some of the stuff about him in Russia?
Um, I don't, I don't know. I know they released a bunch of stuff about Cuba and the first original pages that were.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like almost all of it is just complete crap. The most startling thing was like, hey, did you know that JFK had sex parties?
Ooh, yay!
You, you, you don't, you don't say.
I wonder who hosted them. I don't know. Sinatra?
Right, exactly. That's and who else was in attendance? Oh, Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, surprise.
Oh, weird. Okay, yeah, huh.
While she was with DiMaggio too.
Right. Well, so and the CIA didn't kill her. That's whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. No, but there was like a whole big thing. Like the immediately before the release, Russia immediately goes, "We were never involved. We no see him." Like, because supposedly Oswald went over to Russia for a period of time, really relinquished his passport to the American embassy. So he had no American passport while he was in Russia for a while. In which case, like, I think 3 weeks, 4 weeks later, he is supposed to have come back or went to pick up his passport and come back to United States, and then kicked into gear all of the conspiracy. So now there was a link to directly to Russia with it.
Hmm. Have you ever been to Dallas? In that area where it happened?
Did I lose? Did my internet fail?
No, you're still there. I still see you.
Oh, okay. Everything just froze on me.
Have you ever been to Dallas in that area where the assassination happened?
Mm-hmm.
So you seen the big white cross or big white X on the ground where he died or where he got shot, the first shot, whatever.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like I don't know why Oswald would take so long to shoot him when, especially when he turns the corner and it faces directly at Oswald. But I also don't understand how it took the Secret Service so long to figure out where the hell Oswald was. The building, he literally drove 10 feet in front of the building where Oswald was.
Honestly, no sharpshooter, even with the bolt action rifle like he had, does not take more than half a second to about a second to load each bullet, and then a second to take the next shot. A skilled marksman like he was would have taken about half that time. And no marksman would go bop, wait forever, pop, wait forever, then pop.
Yeah. I just.
I don't, and I don't want to believe in this conspiracy, but I bet you know who knows what happened, and he'll probably never say what actually happened. The guy who wrote Surf Ninjas.
Never heard of it.
You never heard of Surf? Okay, Surf Ninjas was a really weird Ernie Reyes Jr. and Rob Schneider movie that was just horribly bad. I think Leslie Nielsen was in it. Anyway, he wrote this Surf Ninja movie for his kids because he wanted to teach his kids how to essentially make a movie.
Mm-hmm.
So he came up with a cheesy script, and then it actually got picked up, and they kind of twisted it all to hell, and it's not what it was. Well, he used to be heavily involved with the mob. I mean, super heavily. So heavily that he actually found out how Kennedy was killed and who actually called the shots. Some people say it was the Gambino family. Some people say it was one of the other Chicago families. Oh, and Twitch, like I saw your question. I'm not ignoring it. California here, Los Angeles area. Amos is from Alaska, over in the boondocks, crossing frozen rivers because he's an idiot.
In a beautiful place.
it may be beautiful, man, but one small thing goes wrong. You can have a shining on your hands.
It's not that bad. Holy shit.
I could see you sitting there typing all work, no fun, no play, makes Amos a very bad boy.
Mm. Mm-mm.
One of your daughters, one of the twins walking around, red rum. Oh, wait, you got twins in the house. Don't ever leave those two alone in the hallway by themselves.
Real quick, also, Twitch Luck, thank you for the follow. We appreciate that.
Yeah, you're awesome, man.
No, it's not that bad, dude. Like we have like electricity, running water, high speed internet, everything I need. You just got to make sure that you're available to take care of to take out the random moose that walks through your yard, and then that's your food source. You're good. And then nothing else. I got like 7 other people living in this house. Like I'm not going to be the first one down.
Okay, so you got food.
Yeah, I'm raising my food.
Donner, party of 5.
Yeah. And Twitch, look, where are you from, man? Or Czech,
He's
I
from
guess.
Germany.
Well, yeah, but we're in Germany. Yeah,
It's a pretty big country.
well, I mean, it's a country. It's almost guaranteed to have more than one city. So, but
I don't know enough about Germany other than
you're like, I don't know enough about Germany to know if it's got more than one city. It's just one big.
yes. No, when I was working over at Kennard, we actually I think I had to deal with like maybe 3 cities that were in Germany, and that was it.
Hmm.
So I was like, okay, oh, that's in Germany. Wow, I never would have known.
Hmm. Yeah, because Kent lived there for 5 years, I think. Lucky son of a bitch.
And
And Fizchiv apparently disagrees with you entirely on the whole Surf Ninja being great.
dude, I love it. Ninja. I mean, it's great and it's horribly bad. I mean, it is horribly bad. Not the room bad, but this side of that. I mean, there's
have
some
you
good
seen
moments in it. If you're like a
Have you seen Kung Fury?
yes, yes, I
That is
have.
my favorite shitty movie ever. And
Almost as good as Shaolin Soccer.
Kung Fury is this. It's first of all, it's a Kickstarter movie, so they raised money to make it, and it's so bad, but it's so good at being so bad. It's kind of ridiculous how awfully good that movie is.
Oh yeah, especially the way that their use of green screen with really bad 80s special effects.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like they lifted it off of the movie that they're trying to emulate.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, okay, so Kung Fury is so bad that you can tell people actually really acted very good in order to act that poorly.
Yeah, it actually takes some serious skill to be able to do that badly.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so good. I've seen it like 5 times. And the best part about it, like, it's not even like it's barely a commitment because it's only 50 minutes long, 48 minutes long, something like that. Like, it's like an hour-long show with commercials, except there's no commercials, so it just trims it down. It's really If you haven't seen that, it's on the Netflix and the YouTubes and the blub 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 blub, the doobly blub blub blub. Yeah, it's available everywhere.
What language was that, by the way, so I can make sure to use Google Translate for it?
Stinglish.
Stinglish.
Stinglish. Okay. Yep. I mean, it could have been Simlish. Thumbs up.
So, dude, that reminds me. Have you ever checked out the podcast? How did this get made? It's with Paul Shear and Jason and his wife June.
Mm-hmm.
It's how I found out about the surf ninjas because I was like, oh, it got me to actually reading up on JFK stuff
Hmm.
again because I was like, what? So anyway, I've actually been decided that I'm starting over at the beginning of this podcast and watching every movie that they suggest.
Wow.
There is this one, I can't remember the exact name of it, where he doesn't even all the director did was take two or three different movies and slice them together and horribly redub it to a new story to where you have no idea what's going on anymore. And it kind of has like you can kind of follow along with it, but there's like 20 plots to this one story and some horribly bad like Rocky Horror Picture like light from behind sex scenes that take like half an hour.
That
Where you're
sounds
sitting there,
awful.
it's like, yeah, I can't even. This, I'm bored. Like I was excited that they were finally going to hook up and get together, but it's like a static cam shot of sex. Yay, exciting.
We never cleared the showbot from last week.
Ooh, yeah, the one I didn't win.
I still
I
like smoked beers every day.
yeah, I couldn't argue with that one. My whole goal with that is exactly this. I don't care if I win. I just don't want Jotmon to win.
Why you gonna be
I
hitting on
understand.
Jomon?
I love Jotmon. Jotmon is awesome. But Jotmon wins too damn much. You got to share it around a little bit, make it a challenge.
Hmm.
Plus, I still think since Jotmon runs the wiki, there's a hidden secret. Y'all are kind of padding those votes.
Um, I'm not. I mean, I don't know if Kent is or not, but I'm definitely not. And half the time, my votes are public because I forget to take it off screen, so it's usually getting blasted out there. Like, oh, I see what Amos voted for this week.
Hey, you didn't vote for me, fucker.
Whatever. Like, I'm gonna vote for the one that I find funniest in accordance with the chemicals in my own brain. So it's not even it's completely arbitrary half the time. It's like, oh, that one's funny. Oh, I like the alliteration on that one. I don't like that one at all, but it's funny. You know, it's like fuck, I don't care.
This has nothing to do with anything we said.
Yeah, that joke's from pre-show 3 episodes ago. Huh, made me laugh. Click. So,
Don't care. Still running with it.
yeah. We So here's the thing: if you're watching this right now, and you watch this in the future, or you watch this in the past, I guess you can't really watch it in the past. Whatever. Hey, stop judging.
I don't know. There is that one theory.
What theory is that?
Oh, the one where you can go back in like 5 minutes of time in your sleep. Like this one guy came up to this crazy idea based upon Alex Gray's meditations that you can actually astro project yourself into the past for 5 minutes or more to rewatch what happened to so that way you can actually change what your future's action is going to be.
Wow. I
You can't-
I don't even want to establish any kind of idealism merit to that, but if you think of time as like the fourth dimension, which I guess that's like the common theory, right?
right.
We can move up, we can move down, we can move forward, back. So the dimensions there, but then we have this time scale that we just can't escape. I wonder
Right.
if are there life forms out there or creatures out there that can move along in time the way we can move, around in space. that just can't move around in space?
Yes, I do. I really, yeah. There,
I mean, but
there's actually talks where at one point time is actually moving around them. They're actually a fixed point. They're like there could be. There's an idea that there's objects that could actually be fixed in space in time. That the appearance is that object moving through time, but in reality, it's just they're fixed right there, and time's actually going past it.
see,
Um,
this is why I wish I was smarter, so I'd understand half of what these people talk about. Like, I don't know.
well, it's like this. You got a freeway with 5 lanes, okay? And the first 2 lanes are first and second dimension, okay? The third lane is us, okay? Fourth and fifth are, the other two, okay? Because of the fact that because of the fact that each lane's going faster and faster than the other one,
Mm-hmm.
like 1D, the first dimension seems to be at a standstill in comparison to the second dimension. Second dimension looks like it's going, but to third dimensioners, i.e., us, it looks like it's just moving along a flat plane. There is no up, down, left, right, or any of that. It's just on its own plane going its way. So we're speeding past it. In which case, the to the fourth dimension, it could appear as if we do have some movement, or we're moving at a decent, like a bicyclist,
Mm-hmm.
but it's moving at where it would we would like appear as a TV screen to them. So it's an object that even though it's having its own life cycle, it's still a fixed plane that's not doing anything. It's kind of just there, which is the idea. And then there's the new idea that I just stumbled across. So I haven't really looked into this one too much, but the idea of if one was to travel to the past, they would actually, it would not be them exactly, but a copy of them. So let's say you are sitting right here, you hit a button that sends you to the past. The person the Anthony that hit the button stays in a kind of derails or becomes a new version or a new alternate universe. But because he hit that button and went into the past, he is now dead on arrival. So he ceases to he dies right at that moment because his essence followed along back with with the copy that went back in time.
Mm.
And if you go forward in time, um, I forget what the implications are for forward in time. That's what some of the stuff I got to research. Time is fun,
Hmm. I think the only thing we understand about time
and
is the
me,
fact that we don't understand about time.
yeah, and it's something that we never probably will be able to. I think the closest we're going to get is is some of the theories expressed in Interstellar,
Hmm.
where time could be warped, it can be moved around because it's not time is not a constant.
Right.
It is a way of life. And because of that, there's so much more nuances to it than what we could ever understand.
Hmm. I think. I think one day I'm going to wake up and realize that I've traveled through time.
Hmm.
Oh no, that was a dream I had last night. Hmm.
Yes.
I don't know that I would want to travel through time. Like when you think about superpowers, like being able to transfer through time at will or with effort is. I mean, I can see why some people might think it's a good idea, but I don't because I have a hard enough time dwelling on failures of the past and I would want to affect it. And of course, as soon as you try to affect it, either the illusion vanishes that you can't affect it, or time rights itself and course corrects automatically, Or you get the butterfly effect, the whole chaos theory, the fact that this little bit here changed. Actually, it's not chaos theory at all. It's butterfly effect. Because chaos theory is completely separate. Anyway,
Nah, I disagree with that, but there's more to the chaos theory than the butterfly effect. The butterfly effect is one part of the chaos theory.
right. Oh, Night Attack is now hosting us with 33 viewers. So welcome and thank you very much to Night Attack. That's awesome.
My God, people watching us. Let's behave now.
But anyway, if you go back in time, like any one of those results is just it's not optimal. I don't think I don't think there's any chance that you can go back in time and positively affect the situation to your benefit or anyone else's. Like I just don't see how that works. I don't see how that can. And maybe this is just my own mind being super small. I can't see that as a thing.
Oh, you got to look at it. Okay, you got to separate out the different theories of time travel. Okay, you got to let's just use popular movies or TV shows to explain it. Okay, you got the Back to the Future theory, which is not only do you split off into an alternate universe, but you can actually directly destroy everything you do just by being in the same vicinity of as the same you.
Hmm.
Which is more like a matter antimatter theory, which stuck around for a long time up until I think right about the mid 90s when they're like antimatter and matter and antimatter kind of dropped off the science map. Then you got into then you got to Doctor Who theory, which is yes, you can change some things, but it's not going to have as drastic of an effect as what you think it is. You're not that special. There are fixed moments that can be altered, but honestly, they can't be altered at all. You can't even touch them, which I think was just a way to go, oh, we can't prevent the Kennedy assassination.
Right.
Then you got like the voyeurs, which is we're sent or the quantum leap, which is you're going back to actually correct things that were altered in another way by another person.
Hmm.
Which Time Cop was like that. Millennium. If you ever see Millennium with Chris Christopherson and what's her name, one of those things where we got to go back, alter it just a bit to actually save our future way down the line.
Right.
Then you got like the theories that are being practiced, and this is what's pissed me off about Legends of Tomorrow, which is they try to incorporate 15 different time travel theories all at one shot, which is similar to like the butterfly effect, which is one step could, one footprint could alter history so drastically that it's impossible for you to be born. And then you got the theory of what if a fan of Beethoven from the future goes in the past so he can see his obsession, which is Beethoven. When he does, he finds out Beethoven doesn't know how to write a lick of music. In doing so, he decides that I'm going to write all of Beethoven's music for him. In doing so, it alters it to where it's the bootstrap theory, where it's a concept that there is no real beginning, no real end. It's because of it has to happen because it has to happen, or else it will never happen.
Right. And but either way, as I was saying at the beginning of this whole conversation, that under no circumstances any of that work out well. I just think time is one of those things that autocorrects, and even if we could affect it in some way, shape, or form, if we could change it, or if we could travel up and down the stream, or however it is, there's no way that we're positively affecting anything out of it. It's just we're riders on the stream. We are not. You can put your paddle in where you want, but you're not actually going to change the river.
Which I totally agree. Which is why I'm fine with time travel, because honestly, what are we going to do?
Yeah, and here's the other thing. I one of the things that irritates me is when people watch these. You mentioned the movies. They watch these time travel movies, and there's basically two kinds. There's the kind that gets it wrong because they didn't even try, and now there's like it creates a logic problem, within the movie and screws it up. Or there's the kind where they genuinely try and they still screw it up because time is hard.
Yeah,
And at least it works for the movie, even though that may not be an accurate assumption of how time works. At least for the movie it works. And if you're writing a movie and you have these logic problems that are just complete ass, and you still publish the movie, like that's just bad movie. That's just bad writing. But if you don't agree with the theory because, oh, well, I can find this flaw in it and I can find this flaw and this flaw and this flaw, as long as the movie itself doesn't contradict itself, I'm good with it. I don't mind it at all.
you're good.
Yeah. Now, of course, I enjoyed Looper, so I don't know where to put that.
I'm not gonna lie, so do I, man. So do I.
I thought it was a good movie. I thought it was a good premise and everything else, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, even though it does cause recursion problems upon itself. But I enjoyed it, so I can't complain.
Exactly.
What was your favorite time travel movie
For me,
or time effective movie?
I'm still a huge Back to the Future fan, just because that was just so damn enjoyable. It was just
You're talking about the first one,
fun.
right?
Yeah, the first one, and I still love the second one. Third one, I was like, yeah, okay, this is getting a little ridiculous, but the first two I liked.
Yeah, I would.
The third one, it was like, yeah, you're trying too hard to kind of seal up one and two and bring it to a final conclusion. I understand that. I'm sorry. Doc should have stayed in the past and just left it that way. There should have been no time traveling train. Just stay there, enjoy the rest of your life. Let Marty go on to do his great things and have fun.
Yeah.
The coming back and saying, Marty, we see you've done a good thing. No. No. Just, I can't even give an excuse to it.
So I think the third one, the whole reason that Back to the Future 3 exists is because at the end of one they told everybody it was a trilogy.
Yeah.
They only needed the second one. The first one was pretty good. It's a good movie. You could have dropped it right there and just left the franchise alone and said, okay, here you go. It's done. And everybody was like, yeah, well, that's pretty good. All right, cool. The second one comes out and it has all these different predictions and these things that they try to show, and you did pretty good. Like, again, it's not as good as the first one. It's got a few problems here and there, but it's pretty good. You can. It's better than your average sophomore effort. Like, just stop there and call it a day. Move on, or if you're going to continue, go with the different characters. But the third one was just reaching. It was just trying to fill the hole of the trilogy. And really, they could have said it was a trilogy and just released the two movies and said, well, I mean, the third one hasn't been made yet.
That, and I have an issue with ZZ Top being in a movie, not even getting to play a ZZ Top song.
Look, I mean, everybody's got their complaints. Tonda in the chat room says he really enjoyed Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah, first off, dude, I gotta say, hey, thank you everybody for showing up, dude. This is awesome to see. Thank you to Night Attack for sending everybody our way. That's just completely awesome. But yeah, the characters in Legend Tomorrow are fantastic. I really did not think that not only a at that time a third CW show of that magnitude with that many people like grouped up together like it is would actually work. There would have to be. It's just too much for television. You would end up seeing like what was the one that was about power going out on NBC? Similar idea. They just had too many characters and it ended up blowing apart. Same thing with Heroes. Heroes blew apart because there's just too many people to follow all at one shot. But the way they're making it work is fantastic.
See, you're talking about TV shows, so obviously I haven't seen it because I don't watch TV.
Yeah, but you still got Amazon Prime. You have no excuse.
But I don't watch TV.
Heroes is on Netflix.
I don't
You
watch
have no
TV.
excuse.
I don't watch TV.
Yeah, that's because you're being a pretentious asshole again.
No, it's a matter of I only have so much time, and I have time for short stories that I can watch in 2 hours and be done with. Like, it's going to be a stretch for me to watch Stranger Things, and that's only because I loved it so much. You know,
I do.
I haven't even started the second season. I still want to rewatch the first season before I watch the second season, just to make sure that I caught it all, because it's it's so dense with detail.
Yeah.
And it's not like data intense. It's just there's so many little things to catch as you're watching the show that I want to make sure that I watch it again. But that's on my list. Well, I'm having surgery a week from tomorrow. I'm gonna have my back drilled in on, so I'm gonna have some time to watch some stuff. But I said that last time. I ended up filling up all my time doing undaunted interviews, which is something I need to do again this time. I'm running short on that.
Pill, pill pop and Amos podcast time.
So here's the thing about that. They always give me more pills than I want, because I'm always afraid of being addicted, because I have that personality type. Like, you give me something that I can swallow, and 20 minutes later I'm feeling really happy and tingly in the brain, I'm going to do that a lot. So I intentionally withhold that shit for myself, because of that. Because I don't want to be part of the opioid epidemic. And considering all the stuff all the stuff that's not addictive makes me sick. Codeine, don't.
Yeah.
I'm not like. That is the worst I have ever felt in my life, is when I'm on codeine. It's my body does not react well to it at all, and that's the shit they want to give everybody, because it's not addictive. It just blah blah blah. The thing that makes me actually feel good and relieves the pain, Percocet. Percocet's the one that everybody's getting addicted to. God damn it! Like, why is everybody else gonna be screwing with my buzz, man? It's bullshit.
That's what I don't get it. I've tried to get high off of opiates, and I'm like, yeah, I just get itchy. Really fucking itchy. Like, I found out I can't take Vicodin. I could take Percocet or Darvocet, but Darvocet was supposed to be killing you.
Vicodin also makes me vomit.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as codeine. Codeine makes me vomit and gives me insane headache, sensitivity to light and sound, and vertigo, and yeah, no, codeine is bad. Vicodin simply makes me vomit. And then Percocet works fine. Roxicet gives me vertigo, but it actually works. So it depends on, I can't drive or even walk downstairs without assistance if I have it. But it's effective, other than the vertigo. Darvocet, I don't think I've taken Darvocet. I'm not sure. And then what's the shot they give you, man? The big shot.
Morphine?
In the butt. No, not morphine. Morphine makes it to where I can't pee. Yeah, you give me a morphine drip, and I have to sit there and wean myself off of it so that I can pee, and then I can start taking it again. I cannot pee if I'm on morphine, and that's. I mean, if you're ever in a hospital and you're begging for a catheter because your bladder hurts so bad, it's time to cut down on the morphine. So there's that. No, the one that they give you, it's like they give me a shot in the butt for my back, and that one, essentially, the pain from the shot was worse than the pain in the back. It was awful. I didn't like it, and that's when I I dislocated a rib. Yeah, you can do that, by the way.
Yeah, no, I found that one out too. Dude, the I forget what they had me on. What was that one medication that killed Michael Jackson? They had me on that for like 3 weeks, where like they gave me morphine. It closed up my throat. In which case, they had to knock me out for 3 weeks so my lungs could actually chill the hell out.
Jeez.
And like start working again. And I had like a combination, because they didn't think it was a morphine, so they were like, "No, it can't be the morphine. The morphine can't keep causing his throat to be all tight and his chest not to work." No, it wasn't Dilaudid. No, it was not Dilaudid. I take Dilaudid all the time. No, it wasn't that.
Max Trobot saying Propofol killed Michael Jackson.
Yeah, Propofol. Okay, yeah, Propofol. They had me on that for 3 freaking weeks, and that creates the strangest dreams ever. Like I had this dream that you could send an email from the past to the future to tell the person in the future, hey, go back to the past to shoot this video for everybody.
All right, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. And then like the voices that you hear, like you actually literally because you can't open your eyes.
Hmm.
It's like you're part paralyzed, so you can't open your eyes, but you hear voices. And then when you do open your eyes, you have to go, okay, was this one real? Was this one fake? Was this one who was this person?
That is far too much effort for me when I'm not feeling good. Have you ever you never smoked, so I'm guessing Chantix wasn't something you'd ever did.
I did smoke.
Oh, you did?
Remember, you're the one that got me hooked on cigarettes.
Probably that's probably why I don't remember. Chantix would give you some exceptional dreams. Holy crap!
Oh, those are either
Um,
going to be extremely awesome or they are the worst thing nightmares in the world.
right, but either way, it's completely real. There's no association with the dream world. It's an experience, not a dream. I had to quit taking that shit because of that. Like I was having these dreams, and then well, at the time that I was taking, I was kind of like in a weird place in life where my wife and I weren't living together,
Yeah.
and I was in transition between having deployed for a long period of time, getting ready to go to Korea. So like all this stuff, all this different stuff is going on, and I would wake up from a nap thinking it was the next day because the dream I had was so completely vivid that I would dream the entire day. And
Yeah.
then, like all of Tuesday was a dream, and now it's Wednesday, and I go to work and everybody's like, "Hey, happy Tuesday!" And I'm, what is going on? It was the craziest shit. Like Chantix, it didn't help me quit smoking, and yeah, it was just ridiculous. And we just got another follow, and I didn't catch the name.
Ah, shout it out in the chat, dude.
It's because I'm worthless. Because I'm bad at life. Um, so yeah, the Chantix was one of those crazy things that I was it was that was just not good, man. Just not good.
Old person problems, I got to swear.
I was young then. I wasn't old like I am now. I was still young.
Sally, my fiance Sally, she did Chantix for a while to try to quit smoking.
Mm-hmm.
Her big thing was she kept saying that she felt like she was playing a video game. I was like, "What do
Mm.
you mean?" She's like, "I'm third person right now." Well, you're
Oh.
not talking like third person. She's like, "No, I'm outside of my body. I'm not in my body."
And this is why
And
she
I
was
go,
awake or was she was sleeping?
"Yeah," while she was awake.
Oh
She's like,
no.
she was like, I feel like I'm playing Mario, like 5 feet behind Mario, watching Mario do everything.
Oh no no no. I couldn't handle that at all.
Yeah,
It
we got
was it was Deepak doll. Deepak doll? Deepak doll?
yeah.
That's who gave us a follow. So thank you, Deepak doll.
What's up, DePacto?
Um, yeah, I couldn't handle that at all. Like existentialism, like through yeah, Matt Robot agrees, man. Chantix, oof. Like the CIA needs to be studying Chantix and seeing what it does because LSD, we already know what that does. Like study Chantix. That stuff is crazy.
That will get some people to give you some secrets.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
And
have no doubts.
you can't just stop at cold turkey. You cannot because it takes a week and a half to build up in your system. Once it builds up in your system, then you have to do like a 2 to 3 week wean off period.
Right.
If you cut it off, like unless you're highly allergic, if you cut it off like right away, you almost end up in a loony bin because it fucks your mind so hard
Yeah.
that
Uh,
for a while she still felt like she was seeing third person.
Tonda says it sounds like it takes you to the upside down, and the problem is maybe except it's not foggy at all. It's not foggy and smoky. It's like crystal clear. It's just man.
Like this shit going down right now.
Yeah, it's not. And
See,
so, like LSD, you can have a good trip, you can have a bad trip. I don't think there's any good trips on Chantix. I think it's all bad.
here's the thing I'm not worried about. Everybody's screaming, oh, this opioid pandemic. It's just another front to kind of say, okay, we already know that the war on hardcore drugs didn't work, so let's move on to something else. Hey, here's something we can do something about directly. Let's go with prescription drugs. Honestly, yes, some people get it. Anybody could get addicted to anything that they want to.
Mm.
I'm more worried about these psychoactive drugs than I am about the opiates. The opiates, yes, you know if you take too many, you're gonna die, and you know this. And the people that end up killing themselves, they end up killing themselves, and I feel bad for them. It's like that was dumb. If you're taking with alcohol, you already know not to do that. There's enough warnings on everything to say not to. But these psychoactive antidepressants or shit like that that's supposed to, oh, we can also use this for quit smoking.
Mm.
Dude, that shit could fuck a person for life. I mean, if you have one of those dreams the wrong way, that's gonna carry you're gonna carry that trauma with you for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't.
That's
God, I wish we would just stop declaring war on drugs and stupid shit like that, and just actually start doing something about it. Um, the whole reason we have problems with opioids now is because we have all these doctors that are, hey, just here you go, here's another prescription, here's this, here's that, and
and I keep hearing that, but yet whenever my back or my neck is killing the hell out of me to where I can't move, I can't get anything for it. They're like, oh yeah, take some ibuprofen. Oh wait, don't take ibuprofen. That's gonna kill your liver. You can't take that.
vitamin M, yeah,
Just yeah, rub this salve on it. That'll take care of everything. Medical painkillers were created for a reason, and they are to kill pain. You can't just get rid of them and expect people with chronic pain to just go, yeah, I'll just deal with the pain.
mm-hmm.
They've already have, and it sucked. It was bad. They couldn't work. So many people have been able, like so many more people of an older age with a hell of a lot more pain areas are able to continue work because of some of these opiates. And they're saying, no, we're going to take those away from you.
Yeah,
It's not the solution.
no, um, we just had a conversation on this the other day at work that like I could fix all the tax, I could fix the budget, fix the taxes, and fix the continuity in the government while still creating a churn of fresh minds and fresh faces in there. And I'm sure none of it would actually work. But man, it's so good to fantasize about how to fix this shit. I would rather I'd rather have it like these thought experiments on how to fix things than like what I would do with $1 million. You know. Because I mean, I know what I would do with $1 million. Half of it would be gone just paying off my house, and then the other half be paying off all the other bills. So like $1 million would just disappear. I might get a nice steak out of the deal. $1 million would just disappear. But whatever.
I it just astounds me on how people think that, oh, if we get rid of the drugs, that's going to cure everything. Why not find out why they're doing the drugs in the first place? What's the need for all of this self-medication that everybody's going off of? Fix that. You fix that. Honestly, people are like, no, I'm happy. I don't need to go out and drink. Seriously, I used to drink like a fish. I mean, it was not unheard of for me to drop 10 Long Island iced teas like they were water. And yeah, it fucked my liver up. But after I actually started becoming content with life, I was like, yeah, I don't need to get drunk. I'm actually kind of cool.
Yeah, I drink more for the show on Thursdays than I do just regular.
Yeah.
And that's just because it's like my one time each week to just wind down and not worry about anything else. So I just to sit here and have a beer with Kent or the audience or whatever, it's nice. But as far as like actually, I don't know, man. I'm at this weird place in life where I'm actually happy with my life.
Yeah.
I'm like really happy with my life. It took me 40 years to get here, but I'm really happy with my life.
40 years and leaving California and Indiana.
multiple times each. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, I remember.
Um. So, what do you think about? We had this conversation last night. What do you think about the whole kneeling for the national anthem?
I'm really, 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 really torn on it. And the same thing with burning for me. I may not like it, and I really kne- kneeling for the national anthem. Come on, there's a better way to protest than that. There is a better way, but I'm not going to take it away because the minute I take that person's right to protest in any way he seems in most ways, as long as it's not causing harm to another person, I'm not going to take away that form of protest.
Hmm.
Because the minute you do that, is the minute you take it away from every single person there is.
So you're
I
afraid of
hate,
you're afraid of the slippery slope
yeah,
of taking away someone's nonviolent way of protesting.
yeah, because oh, you can't do that because it's against law.
Yeah.
Well, we understand that, but it's a peaceful form of protest. We are actually
It's
saying,
actually against the rules of the NFL.
yeah,
So they could just enforce it that way. I I admire Kaepernick for starting it and for doing it. I think he wanted to raise the issue. He kind of did a little bit, but not effectively. But at least he tried.
yeah,
And it was kind of everything after that, after it blew up initially last year with Kaepernick, that it just kind of seems like a bunch of crap to me. These people are making millions of dollars. I'm sure there's other more effective ways to, they're basically taking the cheap way out, um, in a matter of they're risking their reputations, but they're not actually putting their money where their mouths are. And there's a
I don't know.
there are a lot of defense
I,
funds and things like that out there that could be really helped with just a small portion of what they're making in the NFL.
actually, it is costing them because look at Kaepernick now. All because of that one action when he was released by the 49ers, he cannot get a job anywhere else. Doesn't help that he wasn't that great of a quarterback, but really, I mean, a lot of teams will take on a player that is not as great, but is more of a cooperative person than someone that's going to cause them a bunch of strife.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going, you could be the greatest quarterback, but I mean, look at how many times they passed up top draft picks because they're like, no, we can't trust him. He's going to be in jail in 2 years. What good is it going to do us to sink money into him? And I would love to see him say, take that same energy they're putting into, I'm going to stand firm, I'm going to stand for this, and nobody's going to back me down for it. Okay, apply that politically. Change, like, actually try to get yourself into Senate, into Congress, and change it from there because it has worked. Protests have strongly worked in the past, but very few of them have had any lasting results. It's the ones that actually got people to change their own minds that those protests have actually worked.
Yeah.
I mean, you're seeing this with every form of everybody who's upset right now. It's like they're all going, "We're going to be combative against this," and it's like, no, don't be combative. Be educational.
Yeah. I man, it's such a weird issue because everyone that I work with is like completely so against it, and they're against it, and I don't know if they're against it because they know and understand the issue, or if they just are a single issue spokesman themselves, and it's all about the disrespecting the flag and the national anthem. I've personally never held much regard for the flag or the national anthem. I actually don't like the national anthem at all. I don't think it's a good poem. I don't think it's a good song. I don't really like it. It's boring to me. I don't think it means a whole hell of a lot to me as a service member or as a person. I hold the Constitution in exceptionally high regard, and all of its amendments, even those that I don't necessarily completely agree with. That's where I hold my patriotism, my sense of patriotism and
Darn, I froze up
nationality.
again.
Um, that's where I hold it, is within the Constitution. So I don't know. I think something needs to be done about the I think something needs to be done about the gaps in class in our society in our nation. But I still don't think that I don't think anything that's currently being done is going to lead to an effective resolution.
I agree with that. I just it could have a it could have a good outcome, but people are too focused on the fight, not the issue.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that.
And it's like you were saying, they're single minded. It's like no, anything that, so it doesn't matter if I agree with it or don't agree with it. You said it, so I can't like it. It came out of so and so's mouth, so I'm not allowed to.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute, wasn't that the same exact thing you? I mean, we saw this 8 years ago, where Republican ideas were brought out by Democrats saying, "Yes, you guys came up with this. You guys should be gung ho for it. Let's go forward with this." Oh, we don't like that anymore. Why? Because it came out of you. There were so many things that senators have said, yeah, we would go for that if it wasn't a Democratic bill. If a Republican came out for it, it would pass in a second.
Yeah. Um.
And we saw the same exact thing in the late 60s, early 70s. We are Vietnam all over again without the war. And the thing is, without a war to unite people against, it just becomes infighting amongst everybody. And everybody start ripping up on each other. And it's kind of like self cannibalization.
Max Trobot in the chat room says extreme partisanship is problematic, and
Yes.
I would just refer back to George Washington's farewell address when he gives an out and out, like flat out warning against the two party system.
Yeah.
And it still holds true. Here we are, 200 some odd years later. Yeah, and of course, this is just two middle aged white guys on the internet talking about it. So we're probably not the best representatives. Two middle aged, middle class white guys talking about it on the internet to probably a primary demographic of middle aged to younger white dudes. Like that's how society works, especially with online society like Twitch and things like that. We are just as much the problem as we could ever be the solution, and I don't know how to change. Like I understand the problem. I understand privilege, and I understand that we're in a very classist society. But the things that we argue about are what's left of years of demoralization of certain people, to include the poor, to include non-whites, to include foreigners, whether they're white or not. And we've taken all of that to such an extreme. And it can't continue the way it is, but I don't know how. I don't know what the best way to move that along to the next phase is into correction. And I don't. I'm as I get older, I'm starting to wonder if there even is a possibility of moving us from the sordid state that we are in now into something more beneficial for everyone, because someone has to be without, and the only people that you can take from to help the majority of people are the rich that are currently in control. It's
There,
just it saddens me to think of the limited possibilities that we have in order to make society as a whole better for the whole.
there's a great pendulum that swings, and I call it call it a societal pendulum. You see it occur about every half generation to every generation. Usually, meaning within 10 to 20 years, this pendulum starts swinging. And in recent, you saw it. If you go by biblical writings or biblical history, you saw it with the swing between the Egyptians and the Jewish rule, and but that was like maybe a 500,000 year or swing. Then you saw it with Jewish and Roman rule, where Romans started taking over more of the world, and you saw that pendulum swing again. Then it started getting quicker. It's every 500 every like 200 years, that pendulum would swing where there's always a oppressed and there's always a oppressor. And the only thing we're seeing now is it's going from every 100 years to now every 50 years, then every 20 years, and then every 10 years. And now we're starting to see this pendulum swing much, much faster. But what we're also seeing is the push of it is so much harder. No longer people are just going, I just want to push it enough to get it to the middle so we can find a common ground. It's, I must push it to where they are obliterated. And then that the people that are oppressed are going, no, we have to protect it. We got to push back against this now. And instead of pushing to a middle line, they go, no, we got to push them just as hard, if not harder. And now you're starting to see where everybody's pushing the pendulum at the same time, trying to get it to move. And the thing is, I don't think it's moving anymore. I think everything's slowly becoming stagnant because everybody's digging their heels in and not willing to let this pendulum budge towards the middle. And nobody's willing to find the common ground anymore. And I hate to say it, I do not wish this upon anyone. But it's going to take a major, major, major catastrophe to where people will shut up and quit concentrating on their woes and start concentrating on how to the need to take care of each other.
Yeah. And where do we get to that point? What's the catalyst? What's the jump off mark? It's nothing pleasant, is all I'm saying.
No, it's not, and it's not. And the sad part is,
It's
in order for
more than a tragedy. It's a travesty. It's something like seriously. Yeah.
It's really sucks. I'm hoping that it's not as deadly as what I fear it to be. I fear it's going to be like a major, either a major war, like this Korean thing's going to really blow up in all of our faces. I'm really hoping it's not going to be that. I think I think people in control are smarter than to let that one happen.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be a severe natural disaster that's going to be on a damn near catastrophic scale. For it's Yellowstone's going to have to pop its top.
I don't want to be anywhere near Yellowstone anytime soon.
Dude, you're the one. You're the one most in danger out of all of us.
I don't have any super volcanoes sitting under me right now. I've got
yeah, you do. You got McKinley right next to you.
It's Denali.
You got
and that's 100 miles away.
Sorry, not McKinley. McKinley's the park. I apologize. You got Denali right behind you, and right up from Denali is the edge of the Ring of Fire, and that Ring of Fire in Alaska's so due for a big push. I mean, you guys haven't seen any activity up there of a significant scale since 1878. No, there was one after that. There's one 8 point something earthquake in 1903.
In 19 oh shit, I don't remember. In 1972, there was a 7.2 earthquake that the half of Anchorage is now 18 feet taller or higher than the other half. So that was only like 30 years ago.
Yeah. But if Yellowstone pops, dude, that's going to affect you and it's going to affect me more than anybody else. I mean, the West Coast, we're going to die.
Yellowstone blows up, throws the Rockies at California. Boom goes the dynamite. Yeah, Yellowstone. That's a whole crazy thing there because raising, I should probably look this up since like we're sitting here talking about poop on the internet. I think it's something like 10 feet of elevation difference now, and it's
Yeah.
cycling faster and faster, which they don't know if that's a good thing or if that's a bad thing because they don't know how it's going to go, right?
Yeah. It's either going to pop or it's going to sink. It's going to implode. And then if it implodes, where did all of that go? It had to have funneled off into somewhere else, which means it's going to pop somewhere else just as bad, if not worse.
Yeah. What is this Yellowstone caldera? Like I didn't know about this. This thing looks gorgeous. It looks scary as shit.
Yeah.
Have you seen this?
Oh, popping on the screen.
This is nuts looking.
Holy shit. That almost looks like that one well in I think it was in Texas. They were out on this lake and near a gold mine or something, and they were supposed to have drilled out far enough past it to miss the mine, but instead they hit the mine and drained an entire lake and rerouted a river into this mine. Oh wow. That is insane.
I mean, I guess I've never. Shut up. I've never been to Yellowstone, so maybe I should actually go there. But that looks creepy, crazy. I don't want to be there.
Hey, boo.
Oh man, that's nutso. Okay, back to the lecture at hand. Perfection is perfection. Yeah.
Okay, Maxbot says that Kaiju invasion solves everything. I got to hear more about that. That
Kaiju invasion.
Kaiju. Oh, the Kaiju. Yeah, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, reading is hard. All right, that's all I'm gonna say.
I don't do it anymore. I listen to audiobooks.
Grand Prismatic Spring. I gotta go do this stuff at no, I don't want to go to Yellowstone because it's gonna blow up and everybody's
exactly at any moment.
2.5 times larger than previous. I knew about that. I'm looking for the flux because it rises and drops and it like breathes.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people think it's because of the steam vents that steam vents are releasing enough to let it go.
Yeah, that's crazy, uncomfortable stuff. And yes, well, you don't know if a kaiju invasion is going to start from one of these damn springs in Yellowstone, man. Maybe it's not breathing. Maybe the land isn't breathing. Maybe it's actually the kaiju like tunneling their way through, coming up from China or something. You know.
I foresee little orange creatures running out of the ground. That's what it's going to be.
little orange. Those are the kaiju. The little orange creatures.
Yeah.
And they jump out of the super volcano and hit the sunlight, and the sunlight causes them to grow to 50 feet tall. Is that what's going on?
Works for me, man.
I mean, I'm good. Let's make it a movie. Let's shoot that film.
Hey, we'll make some robots and put two players in it, so that way they can control each half. Because it takes a big mind to do it.
Right. But and that would lead to a comedic cutscene of stumbling and tripping and falling and kicking itself and shooting itself, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And we'll have that one token shower scene too. You got to make sure that token shower scene,
because robots in the shower, it's hot.
You know, my absolute favorite robot movie is Robot Jocks, with Anna Marie from. She used to be on the what was it? Not Three's Company. Not Three's a Crowd. Oh God, it used to be on reruns on Channel 5, KTLA back in the day. Uh, God, it was forever ago. And no, it was just like battle. Like instead of fighting wars, they had country invasion battle arenas against giant robots. Sort of like a no, it wasn't the Ropers. uh, Dude, it was just fantastic. And the whole thing about it was a utopian future where instead of sending 10 million forces out to war, we just sent two robots. Except the robots would end up killing everybody watching the sport and betting on it.
Hmm. What do you think about shit colliding with Earth and killing us all?
That's bound to happen. There's no way we're going to keep getting lucky as we have been.
Hmm.
I
I
mean,
don't
we've
know.
seen how does our moon get pounded as much as it does, yet everything keeps bouncing off of our atmosphere and just barely missing us by a few kilometers or a few hundred kilometers.
Well, I mean, part of that is because we have an atmosphere at all, like where the moon
Yeah.
doesn't have one, so there's no deflection, there's no slowing down or anything else. So you get the smallest little space dust hits the moon and it causes a 500-foot crater. There's that. But the other part of that
But
is, I mean, the moon travels more than the Earth does.
yeah, but I mean, look at how many planets have how much debris there is out there from how many supernovas and planetary explosions and planetary collisions and the comets and everything else that happens. There is so much crazy stuff out there. It's going to hit us again. And the fact that we haven't gotten hit yet as hard as we probably should have, as hard as the quote unquote extinction, dinosaur extinction event, which I still don't think I don't think dinosaurs went out like that. I think we just think it did because we just noticed a lot of bones all at the same level. I just think that things has chilled out for a few thousand years, and but that's just me. That's my personal theory, and I know I made it all up in my head.
Okay.
But at some point, we're going to see a big strike. It is way too likely to happen. Space is too big to keep getting missed like we are. And I think they're tracking. They got one that they're tracking finally from another planetary system that's completely outside of ours. It's like it's not even a asteroid that's within our system.
Right. Yeah. This
That
A2017U1.
yeah,
Yeah, I just looked it up because that's the kind of person I am.
hmm figures. But that's going to be fun to watch. I'm going to keep my eye on that. I have a feeling. I have a feeling by the time it gets anywhere close to us, where we actually have to worry, which I don't think it's going to. I think it's going to miss us completely
It
by like 3 planets.
it already has. It's already missed us.
Oh, it already has. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's now traveling 27 miles per second. So it's now heading away from the sun at 98,000 miles an hour.
Ooh.
Fast enough to escape the sun's gravitational pull.
Gravitational pull.
Which is funny because according to this little diagram they put on here, it sure as hell took a sharp turn. Like, explain that to me.
Jupiter.
Not no. Let me throw this up here. So it comes down. It's going from the top, coming down, and it starts
Oh
coming
yeah,
towards the sun. And then like, what is this? And it pops out right by the Earth and just goes scooting off.
yeah.
Like, what is this little thing right
Essentially,
here?
we already do that. We use that with the Apollo program. It's if you ever play a game, there's a game called Kerbal's Space Program,
Right. No, I understand. I
which
understand
you practice
slingshotting.
exactly that. It's a gravitational assist. If you're within a certain distance, it actually could cause the gravity, your speed carries you past it, but at the same time, it's still going to cause you to turn. It's
Right,
kind of
but
like
the turn would be like here. It wouldn't be like, oh, we're gonna come down here. Oh, by the way, we're supposed to turn left to Albuquerque. Oh, now we'll go ahead and make this turn and come this way. Like it goes. It's a straight, like almost a straight line into here. It's slowly curving towards the sun, slowly, and then just like it gets. Oh, hey, by the way, yeah. Oh, yeah. There we go. There we go. There's a left turn. There's a left turn. Okay, now we're out of here. Like it just. I don't think this diagram accurately
no,
displays the
it's I doubt it's accurate.
some 9-year-old with some digital crayons made that shit up. That's what happened there.
I agree. I think all the dinosaurs died off slowly due to dinobetes. I could see that.
They found that sugar cane, couldn't stop eating. Oh, jeez.
They're still trying to get sugar labeled as a drug too.
You know what? I don't care. Label whatever it is you want. The FDA has been lying to us since its creation. It's all been bought and paid for long before any of us came around, and it doesn't even matter anymore. They're going to qualify it and look until they start pulling it off the market. There's no point in labeling anything anytime ever. So
Honest, we all know the secret. Everything is moderation. You can't take too much of any one thing. I'm with you there. Don't take my sweet tea, man. It's the one thing you can enjoy. I can't have beer. I can't have alcohol. I'm at a job where I can't smoke weed.
yeah.
There's nothing I can do to alter my to find joy in existence. I got sugar. Don't take my sugar.
Need a Milky Way. Yeah. Well, hey man, we've been streaming for about 2 hours now, and it's been pretty awesome. We got anything else? Any other crazy ideas we want to talk about before we cut out of here?
I think we're coming back next Sunday, right?
That would be ideal. The whole thing about this, about what we're doing here, is this isn't our normal podcast. This is kind of me and Sean's chance to shoot the shit and bring up ideas and possibilities for future shows in the form of 5-minute tryouts. So if you're watching right now and you've got a show that you would like, hey, you know what? How about a podcast about this? Go ahead and spit that to us. Podcast. Shit. I don't even know. Ritualmiserypodcast@gmail.com. There we go. There's my brain working again. Ritualmiserypodcast@gmail.com. Shoot us an idea, and what we'd like to do is compile a bunch of these crazy ideas and then just try them out. You know, get some data going to where, hey, there's a podcast about this subject done in this style, and the hosts are these people, and go improv and make it happen, and see if we can, get some laughs and get some ideas for some for some future shows, and most of all, just enjoy a Sunday when we can. So there's no guarantee it's gonna be every Sunday. It's no guarantee it's only gonna be on Sundays. There's no guarantees. This is basically the Ritual Misery No Guarantees podcast. That's what there's Twitch stream. That's all this is.
Yeah. It's kind of like pirate radio, like that, where we come on when we come on, and you're going to shut up and enjoy
it, or don't. So,
NGP.
Tonda's got titles and suggestions here. This is it's been fun, and if you
are we actually gonna try to title this thing? There's a lot of suggestions in there.
Well, a lot of the suggestions are left over from Thursday's show. So
there's got to be some. We got to be able to tell the new ones, right? We got to chat here. There's only been 3 people talking.
Well, Tonda's down there. Interesting fun facts, and I think that's it. I think those are the only 2 that are new from today. Unless someone's gone through rmp.showbot.tv and voted them up.
Which I can't tell. World Empire. Nope.
No,
same ones.
Yep, just those 2.
I'm good with Dinobetes.
Yeah, I think Dinobetes wins. I think that we're just gonna call that one. So I'll label it in the Twitch stream and maybe save it over to YouTube's for future viewing. All that being said, hey, there are some great people in the chat right now that like Tonda. Tonda has another has a show of his own. He does some streams and stuff like that. He's got some artwork he does, things like that. So go check him
Mm,
out.
I like
And
Max. I'm relevant.
yeah, yeah, it's been fun. It's been a show, and I don't even like it's been weird. That's already taken. So
It's always weird when you and I get together. God knows what's going to happen. What are you going to say? What we're going to talk about? What we're going to
oh,
do?
there's Fitz. I thought Fitz had cut out a while ago.
Woohoo! Hey,
So,
we held on to the whole 8 people who stayed through.
you
Out
know,
of
and
you.
I'm very, very thankful for those 8 people. I hope they had some laughs and some interesting, if nothing else, laughing at our stupid asses trying to be smart on the internet.
God help them.
Fitz,
Did
Fitz is
you
like
hear,
lurking, bro. Hey.
did you hear that squid guy, dude? He's full of shit.
Yeah. Oh, we still need Squid. Still needs a damn Twitter handle.
All right, then that's our goal.
Let's do Twitter handle. Let's find Squid a Twitter handle because Squid's already taken. So if you're in chat right now and you got an idea for Sean Squid McDowell and his Twitter handle, let's go and figure that out. Let's make that happen real quick. I know there's better
Fitz
ones
is
out there. I've got name check up right now. I'll go ahead and do some searches.
Fitz is busy. Assassin's Creed and Cuphead. I like that Cuphead, dude. I don't want to play it. I want to watch it.
What the hell's Cuphead?
It is much too fun to watch, better than play. Dude, Cuphead's this 2D side scroller. Remember those old school videotapes you used to get like at those cartoons ones you used to get at like Pick and Save and shit that had like these crappy 1920s cartoons that were half black and white. Maybe a couple of them would be in color. It's drawn a lot like that, like Tex Avery, a lot of Tex Avery style, and you're kind of yeah, it is insane, and it's fun to play. I'm sure it's
Oh,
fun to play,
wow.
but it's 10 times better to sit there and watch that shit play out because it's kind of like watching those really old Merry Melodies or the Looney Tune ones,
Mm.
and they're drawn just like that, except it's a game.
Yeah,
That's kind of messed up.
this looks crazy.
It is.
Looks like a lot of fun
You
actually.
want to stream that? That's something to play and stream because I will sit there forever watching and just like, okay, this is cool. I almost expect Betty Boop to pop in there and like the wolf, you know.
Wow.
Once again, we get sidetracked
Yeah.
by Cuphead. You can't even talk. You're not even talking. You're just watching like some of the trailers from it, and you're like, oh, that
Waiting,
is awesome.
waiting for some shit to happen.
And what shit would that be?
There you go.
You see, right now. What you're not hearing or what you're not seeing, what he's doing. Oh yeah. Oh, you actually got it up. I'm watching in the other screen. You actually got it up.
Welcome to now.
Yes.
Now, it's an amazing place to be. It's really cool.
Honestly, I really wish that this is what Fallout could have been, or the Fallout Vault game
Hmm.
could have been something like this, something just this animated. It's like as if you took Monty Python and 1920s Absinthe and mixed them together.
Oh wow. All right, well it's that's that. I'm gonna go ahead and add that. Oh shoots, I'm not logged into Steam right now. Never mind.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll add that later. All right, so
and gentlemen, this is how we lost Amos.
I still got so many games. What I'll do
This
is I'll put it in my wish list and then wait for it to go on sale for like $10 or whatever, and I'll buy it. Because that's what I do. I buy everything on Steam on sale. Like I don't think I've ever paid full price for anything on Steam ever.
No, why would you?
Yeah.
In fact, I don't even do that. I go to Humble Bundle and I get it on Humble Bundle for like $1.
Oh my gosh. I need to start
Yeah, I'm that
humble
asshole.
bundling. I need to humble bundle shit.
Yeah.
Because there's all these great humble bundles, and I've just never done it. I always feel like, well, this is what it's worth to me. That's not enough to pay for what I'm getting. I am cheaper in my pocketbook than my morals will allow.
Yeah.
So you go, yeah, just pay what you want. I'm like, I mean, I would if it was $5, I'd buy it. But $5 split 6 ways from all these different people, then they're all getting like 10 cents out of that, and that's not worth it. They deserve it more than that. I'm not going to buy it because they deserve it more than what I'm going to. Like, it's this really complicated shit that goes on in my head.
Well, I have no problem bidding or paying the minimum, what the suggested minimum is. But here's what I do, and I almost feel horrible for it, but all of it goes to the charities. Almost none of it goes to anybody else.
Right. It's whatever, man. You know what? You do you, boo.
I do me, and I do me well.
Oh, I hear a baby crying.
Oh, somebody's got to go.
Yeah, it's that time.
So we're gonna put the Twitter thing on pause until next week or whenever.
Well, I haven't seen any suggestions in the chat, so I guess yeah, we'll plan that next time.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Nobody gives two shits.
Nobody gives two shits.
It's like, what?
I say you go with Dinobetes.
Dinobetes.
Yep, you should be at Dinobetes.
That will be my Twitch.
Yeah,
at Dinobetes.
That'll be your Twitter handle at Dinobetes.
Yeah, I could see that going well. I tell you what. Here's what we'll do. We're gonna come up with a name next week. God forbid if it's Dinobetes, I'm gonna beat you like a redheaded stepchild. And make that happen.
That's racist. I think. I don't even know. It's
somebody's offended by it.
All the redheads stepchildren are like, motherfucker, what?
Dude, I started off life as a redhead, and then somehow my hair went completely black.
I started off as a blonde. Now I'm going bald.
What's up with that? Like your hair as a child, like never stays the same. You're always like, yeah, we're kind of this, but I switched my mind.
Yeah, it's whatever. All right, y'all.
All right.
It's been fun, and we will catch you next time on this here random ass podcast.
Bye, y'all.
Or not.
Maybe. We'll see.
Hey, real quick, give us a follow if you haven't already. Just FistChiv29 oh yeah, they're telling Fitz what's going on. That's what he gets for lurking and not actively participating. He's just kind of he's over there washing dishes and rubbing off, you know. Hopefully not at the same time, or you don't want drinks at his place.
I think I need to fill this cup with.
I'm out of soap. Squid squeeze.
Cheers will work. Squid squeeze.
Again, he's talking about what he's doing. He's not giving you a name. He's talking about how he's squeezing his squid.
I actually like that one.
Ink, 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 ink. Oh shit. This just got dark. All right. And with that, fuck you.